Officials in Longview, Washington say multiple people were killed, several more injured following a chemical implosion at a paper mill. The latest details about the incident coming up. After being declared clinically dead, longtime Eastern Washington sportscaster Larry Weir survived a heart attack with the help of his friends. More details tonight.
If you wanted a consistent forecast, you're just going to have to wait. We're tracking a spring medley of conditions, what I'm seeing tonight.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Wildfire season is upon us and state officials are warning this year could be bad. That is one of the reasons that State Commissioner of Public Lands Dave Upthegrove made a stop in Spokane today. KREM 2's Christian Garza live in the newsroom tonight with more on what the commissioner had to say. Christian?
Well, the main takeaway from the commissioner's stop in Spokane today is that the state is ready to act at any moment when it comes to wildfires. Commissioner Upthegrove said repeatedly throughout his time here in Spokane County that with Memorial Day in the rear view, wildfire season is upon us, and it's not only going to take state resources to prevent them, but your help at home as well. He says about 90% of the state's wildfires are human-caused, so here are some things that you can do at home to lessen the chance of accidentally starting a wildfire. First is if you have a campfire going, make sure that it's completely out before leaving it alone. Be careful when it comes to using fireworks and clear dry debris from around your land to make sure it won't catch on fire as easily. Upthegrove says assessments show that Eastern Washington is a high risk of wildfires starting in June, with that risk spreading to Western Washington in July and August.
We're seeing wildfire seasons starting earlier and running longer. And that's not surprising as population increases. Given that most fires are human caused, we see increased risk. Also, climate change is impacting drought conditions. It's impacting the health of our forests. These things also can contribute in various ways to wildfire risk. It is troubling, but I don't think it's a trend that's going to change anytime soon.
Last year, the state legislature cut the wildfire prevention and response funding in half, but Upthegrove says this year funding is not an issue. Commissioner Upthegrove says the Department of Natural Resources has more information on what you can do to make sure your property is as prepared as it can be going into wildfire season. In the newsroom, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
All right, Christian, thank you very much. Let's just shift gears here shortly and talk weather on this Tuesday with meteorologist Cody Proctor joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center. And Cody, I see you're holding an umbrella right now.
Yeah, I know Christian was talking about our fire season that's coming up and the press conference with DNR. Luckily, one thing that will hopefully help out with that fire season a bit is our weather that we're seeing right now. We are seeing some rain at this very moment, so hopefully this moisture will help out with some of our dry conditions. But these are types of conditions that have just been building and ongoing for the last few months. So hopefully this will help just a bit. But we've got that rain right now. We've got that rain up towards Silver as well from what we've been seeing. Temperatures right now over at the Spokane Airport are at 57 degrees. I'm just glad the wind is not really blowing that hard because I've been out here before where it's been raining sideways because of that wind. Our temperatures around the region mostly from the 50s to the 60s right now. Wenatchee, Moses Lake currently seeing some clear conditions at this time. We've been tracking those showers moving through right now, especially as we look towards North Idaho right here throughout parts of Montana. They've been seeing some lightning moving through, so watching that pretty closely because we're still seeing those chances of some thunderstorms for this evening. Hour by hour for tonight, that rain looks to stick around. Might be a bit calmer as we start our Wednesday, though. Expecting partly sunny skies for all. Temperatures could be in the upper 70s. Thursday could be our warmest, but Thursday's also bringing another chance of more active weather. I'll have more coming up in your full forecast later.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Cody. Thank you. Now to developing news out of Longview, Washington tonight, where fire officials say multiple people are dead, several injured following a chemical implosion at a paper mill. At this point, the number of people killed has not yet been confirmed. Some people are still missing. 10 people, including one firefighter and 9 facility members, were taken to area hospitals. Of the 9, 3 people have been discharged. One person is in fair condition. Another has died. According to the Longview Fire Department, the 80,000-gallon tank ruptured at around 7:15 this morning. It was filled, they said, with white liqueur, a chemical mixture used in the paper-making process.
Battalion Chief Gorsuch identified this as white liquor. It is a chemical mixture of sodium hydroxide, sodium sulfide, and disodium carbonate. that is used in the paper making process. The incident of this scale requires strong coordination between the agencies and the county, as that's what remains ongoing. As we identified, the scene remains stable. Crews from our agencies have looked at the hazardous materials component as well as the structural concerns.
Fire officials say it is too early to say why the tank ruptured. Hazmat crews and other first responders are working with facility personnel now on recovery efforts as that investigation continues. As part of the Spokane International Airport's renovation and construction is now complete, earlier today, they held a ceremony to celebrate the first step toward the reimagining and redefining of air travel in the inland Northwest.
I want you to think of this as the initial step to the airport's long visions and goals. And what's our goal? A consolidated terminal facility featuring central baggage claim area, more efficient security screening checkpoints, easier access to airport concessions about the food and the cocktails.
As part of the ceremony, the airport also showed off the improvements they have made to Concourse C and previewed upgrades still to come. Clearwater County Sheriff Chris Getz will retire on June 30th after 28 years with the department. Sheriff Getz started with the Clearwater County Sheriff's Office as the WEIP resident deputy back in 1998. He was elected sheriff of Clearwater County in 2008 and is currently serving his 5th four-year term. Eastern Washington University's play-by-play sports broadcaster is recovering after a heart attack nearly killed him just 1 week ago. He says if it wasn't for the quick actions of his golfing friends, he may not be here today. KREM 2's Regan Gallo shares tonight Larry Weir's life-changing story.
If you know the name of Larry Weir, then you must pay attention to Eastern Washington University athletics. Larry has been the sportscaster for 35 consecutive seasons. And when he's not sportscasting, he likes to spend his off time on the golf course. Now, just last week here at Down River, when he was playing with his friends, Larry suffered a nearly fatal heart attack where he was clinically dead for a few minutes. But his friends jumped into action, performing CPR and eventually saving his life. After being in an induced coma, and now he has 3 stents in his heart, Larry is walking. And today I got to talk to him and 2 of his close friends who were all there during that experience. He talks about his long road to recovery ahead and his hopes to get back into the sportscasting game when he feels better. That's all coming up tonight on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock.
And this story highlights the importance of knowing CPR and being there for someone when they need it. As we just saw, CPR saves people's lives, and you can be a hero and step in during the crisis. The American Red Cross says there are more than 350,000 cardiac arrests outside the hospital each year. More than 70% of those occur at a home, so the person you save may very well be someone you love. Both the American Red Cross and the American Heart Association offer CPR classes, so just text us the letters CPR to 509-448-2000 and we'll send a link directly to your phone. As negotiations between the U.S. and Iran continue, the two sides also traded strikes, the latest in peace talks coming up in just 3 minutes. And earlier today, Spokane County Commissioners discussed a possible new lease for Avista Stadium. Coming up later in the show, we learn more about how that could impact the Spokane Indians.